everyone, welcome back to week 6, day 3. Now today we are going to go back to the lab that we started on Monday and then we are going to analyze the data. To begin with, please go to your Google Classroom, click on classwork, go down to week 6, November 30th to December 4th, and click right here on week 6 homeostasis lab. So this is the assignment that we are going to open. Let's click on this. Now right here on the Gizmo lab, we went over the 3 vocabulary last time. Severe hypothermia, describing what will happen when your body temperature go below 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat stroke, when our body temperature go above 105.8 degrees Fahrenheit. And dehydration, when you don't drink enough water. We also did complete our hypothesis last time, as well as our data table. Now I want you to take a look at your data table right now. At the first hour, the air temperature was 68 degrees Fahrenheit, body temperature was 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and the amount of sweat that she produces was 2.6 liters per hour. In the second hour, the air temperature dropped to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Body temperature is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sweat was 0.1 liters per hour. In the third hour, the air temperature was 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Body temperature is 99 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sweat that she produced was 5 liters per hour. Now, with that said, I want you to take some time, take a look at this data, and I want you to think about what is an observation that you can make based on this data. Go ahead and pause this video. Take a look at what is an observation you can make. All right, now think about, is there a way that you can use this observation that you make and change it to an evidence for your CER? All right, so when you're doing a CER, just a reminder, we want to have 3 different parts: a claim, an evidence, and a reasoning. Claim is a sentence to the answer you investigate. So you can have different claims depending on what was your hypothesis. For example, you can mention that as air temperature goes up, the amount of sweat go up. You can also mention that air temperature go down and the amount of sweat go down. You might also mention that air temperature goes up and down, but the body temperature stay the same. So there's different claims that you can have for your CER. There is not just one answer only. For your evidence, this is something that we really want to talk about. You want to make sure that you are using number from your data table. So if you only say right here in your CER, as temperature goes up, sweat goes up, period. If that is the only sentence, that is only the claim. That is not the evidence. To include your evidence, you want to make sure to state numbers from the data table that we collected as the class. For example, you can say that if air temperature increase from 68 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, comma, then the sweat would also increase from 2.6 liters per hour to 5 liters per hour, period. So you want to make sure to use number from the data table as your evidence, okay? And lastly, you also want to tie it up with the reasoning, okay? Reasoning, you can explain, well, why does sweat increase when air temperature increase? So you can explain why in a sentence to tie up claim and evidence. So make sure you have all 3 parts: claim, evidence, and reasoning. Okay, so again, this assignment is due next week on day 1. So part 1 and part 3, we all have the same number. This is a part that we did as a class. Part 2 hypothesis and part 4 in CER. It's different from person and person depending on what is your hypothesis and what is your CER. So you will all have slightly different answers. Okay? So that is the main part that we work on today. I will also like to show you the extra credit that we have. So in your Google Classroom, under the week 6 assignment, you can see right here the extra credit homeostasis challenge. Again, any extra credit that we do in class, they are always optional. Let's take a look at this extra credit and then you can decide whether that's something you want to do. This is also one of the biggest extra credit we have so far. The previous extra credit, they are only 5 points, extra credit points, but this one you can get up to 10 extra credit points. So in this challenge, your goal is to help the person to maintain a constant body temperature as air temperature fluctuate up and down. Make sure to keep the person moving successfully for 4 hours without getting a heat stroke or hypothermia. Don't forget to give the person food and water as needed during the simulation. Right here, you are going to see the Gizmo website, and on the right here, this is the extra credit. In the extra credit, you are going to write down how do you plan to regulate this person's body temperature. Make sure do not click automatic sweating and do not click constant temperature. Let's go into our Gizmo lab. Now right here, I want to make sure that I unclick automatic sweating and constant temperature. You have different things that you can change, different variable that you can change. Some of the variable that you can change is what clothing do you put on her? Do you give her a sweater, a hat, both, or none? What kind of exercise is she doing? Walking, jogging, or running? Also, how much is she sweating per hour? All of these are parts that you can change. Now with that, let's give it a try. I'm going to have her run. And let's see how long can she run for. Notice right here, the body temperature keeps going up. And in 15 minutes, she stopped running because she have a heat stroke. What do you think I could do to help her to regulate her body temperature? Now, let's try another one. This time I'm not going to have her wear her sweater and I'm not going to have her wear her hat. And I want you to take a look again. It will show that she would need water and food throughout. But right here, I have another warning sign up here on the top. Low body temperature. I'm going to give her some food right here, as well as some water. Very low body temperature. And again, she stopped running because she has hypothermia. What do you think we can do to help her to regulate her temperature? Now, that is the questions that I have for you. What do you think is something that we can do to help her to regulate her body temperature? Make sure to write down a hypothesis. What is your plan? At each hour, at the beginning, at first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, make sure to click pause right here and you can record her body temperature, what kind of clothing you're giving her, exercise, and sweat. And again, this is not something you might get the first time. So you might have to do a few trials in order to get the data for all 4 hours. Because sometimes you might try it, but then you realize after 1 hour, she have a heat stroke or she have hypothermia. So you might need to do a few trials to make sure that she is able to run for all 4 hours. Last but not least, you are going to write a CER. Was the hypothesis correct? How do you regulate this person's body temperature all throughout 4 hours? Make sure to support your hypothesis with evidence and reasoning. So again, you can find both of this in your Google Classroom. This is the assignment that is due on day 1, and extra credit is an optional challenge if you would like to try it for extra credit. With that, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye bye.